There's a lot of things that are taking place around the NFL still on like this 4th or 5th day of the free agency period being opened on Monday during the tampering period. We're in a new league year, so there's a lot of salary cap moves. We thought the Chargers were potentially done. Keenan Allen's now a Chicago Bear. Whoa. Who's going to be his quarterback?
Good question.
Who's going to be his quarterback? Is this all for Justin Fields? Is Justin Fields looking around the Chicago Bears going, you guys getting rid of me and now we're making a team really good? What is the deal? We're making all these plays and I'm getting shipped out of here? Or is this for Caleb Williams to get another weapon? To make sure Caleb Williams has a safety blanket, a man who seemingly is always open for the Chargers, has been a staple of the Chargers offense. Now he is a member of the Chicago Bears. Chargers are able to open up some money, I would assume, for the salary cap and everything they got going on. Who knows what moves they'll make with that extra fund. Keenan Allen's a guy you want on your team. I love this move for the Chicago Bears. We have no idea what they're going to do at number one still. Everybody assumes it's Caleb Williams, but then you start hearing people chat, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Now, is that just draft season BS? Probably. But all I see is the Chicago Bears trying to get better. Congratulations, Viva Luzido.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. We're back.
I know you Chicago Bears fans have been yearning for success for a very long time. Feels like this particular front office and everything understands that. Poles is making moves, and they're calling him Big Pole Poles. And I think he's making a lot of big pole moves. And you guys might end up on the pole of the NFC at some point, and we shall see. Congratulations to you guys.
What's up, buddy?
Let's talk about Chicago.
Yeah.
I want to hear about Chicago. 3 hours north of here.
Yep.
Beautiful city.
Beautiful.
Hardworking city. A lot of blue-collar jobs in Chicago. It's we love football up there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God. Generational fans. Hey, my father was my father's father was my father's father was a fan.
Bingo.
Love the Bears. It's a religion. And they suck and have sucked for a long time. And by sucked, I mean, there's hope. That whole thing.
Right.
And then nothing. Not saying you haven't had good players, good situations, good plays, good wins, but just relevancy to the world. Not really.
No. Yep.
They bring in Keenan Allen. They still have Justin Fields. They got the number 1 overall pick. They got number 9. They're signing people on the defensive side of the ball. Feels like Eberflus's culture is settling in, or at least was at the end of the year. Are things like, with what the Bears are doing, we love it. And what are they doing at number 1? Are they trading out of there? Are they keeping Caleb? What do you think?
I still believe that they're going to take a quarterback at 1. I have said I would take Jaden Daniels if I was them. I have not backed off from that. I do not expect that to change. I heard Zito say he thinks they're going to keep Fields. All right, so let's. There's 2 parts of that. Okay, number 1. Let's live in the world, because I do think the Bears started to play good football at the end of last season, specifically defensively. Okay, if they choose to trade the number 1 pick and keep Justin Fields, there's 2 parts of that. Number 1, you have to win if you're Eberflus and Ryan Poles next year, or you're going to get fired. Okay, that's the reality of the NFL. You will have to win, or you are going to get fired. That means, more than likely, Justin Fields plays good football. Whether he plays great football or not, he plays good football, winning football, and they win, they keep their jobs. That goes to number 2. His agent, David Mulgeta, is one of the best, if not the best agents in the NFL, okay? So the Bears will have to be faced with, okay, we kept Justin Fields, and he plays good football, and we get into the playoffs. We're a fringe playoff team. He will get Justin Fields so much money, that the Bears all of a sudden are going to be sitting there going, now within a 1-year span, we went from maybe taking a cheap rookie quarterback to having to shell out $250 million to a quarterback. That's going to expedite or ramp up that winning process and kind of have an impact on it in a significant way.
I'd say, yep.
The second thing is this that I've heard. So I don't think that is going to be the best situation, just long-term job-wise for Poles and Eberflus. Second part of this, because I've heard, and I know Kyle Long, and I honestly thought it was a really smart point. He said, you know what, after not finding a trade partner, keep Justin Fields, draft Caleb Williams. I go back to the agent, David Mulgeta. I would be floored if David Mulgeta let that happen, who's Justin Fields' agent. I would be shocked if he just let his client stay there and they're going to take the number 1 pick at his position. I also don't think Caleb Williams' group, I don't know exactly who's with him. If it's just, I don't think he's hired a specific agent. I would be shocked if his team was like, yeah, keep Justin Fields, don't worry about it. You can take Caleb, but we'll just have 2 number 1 picks on the roster, almost like Arizona, Kyler Murray, Josh Rosen. So I don't think that's happening. Okay. The last part of this. If Chicago kept Justin Fields, just think about it in this regard. If you're Ryan Poles, their general manager, he would have passed on 3 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks in a 2-year span. It would be the gutsiest move in the history of the draft, essentially. To pass on 3 dudes, Bryce Young, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and the guy who's also in that conversation, didn't win the Heisman, CJ Stroud. So we're just going to pass on all those guys. You better be freaking dead set that Justin Fields is a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, but what if they can't get anything? Like, what if the trade options have kind of run dry? Or do you just release them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think more than likely, yes. I mean, who is on your roster shouldn't dictate who you take at number 1. I've always believed that. Who is on your football team should not have a impact on who you select with number 1. Selecting the number 1 draft pick in the NFL is about I'm taking the best possible player, and certainly quarterback, because it's the most important position. So if it means that, they don't get anything for Justin Fields, that obviously isn't great, but they're not going to allow it. I'd be shocked if those parties allowed Justin Fields to just stay on that football team.
You got Peyton Manning on your team.
What about him?
You're not number 1 overall.
You have the first pick.
Yeah, you're not doing that. We just completely your thing you just said.
No, I mean, like I said, you caveat it with quarterback, but if Peyton Manning's on your team and you have the number 1 pick, you're taking the best player.
Marvin Harrison Jr., is that who that is? Joe Alt?
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean.
I mean,
Cooper DeJean.
Yep.
Who is, other than the quarterback, we haven't even talked really at all about anybody other than the first 3 picks.
But think about it.
We
If he
suck.
keeps Justin
No,
Fields,
that's what
he's
everybody-
going to
We
pass on.
suck as a show.
There's time.
no.
This was free agency time, and now after this week, we move on.
He would pass on
6 weeks
3 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks.
I understand.
You don't survive that.
All right. You like Jaden
You
Daniels?
don't.
You like Jaden Daniels more than Caleb? Are you the only one that's loudly saying that, you think, at this point? Or
What is it, Dan? What sets him apart from Caleb, you think?
Yeah. Okay. So I think number 1, you're going to see man coverage or tight coverage in the NFL significantly higher than you will in college football. So you have to see like what guy makes better throws in those realistic NFL situations. That's Jaden Daniels. I think number 2, when he created big plays down the field throwing the football, it was most, I see that look like stuff on Sundays. Like there wasn't a ton of broken plays or run around, or it was like in rhythm, creating big plays and throwing the ball downfield, contrary to these clips. And then the third thing was, I think his pocket, like patience, his peace, his subtlety is most realistic to the NFL. Like here's my thing with Caleb. Again, I don't need to tell people he's ridiculously talented. To think that you're going to have tons of opportunities to just go run around and make big plays on a consistent basis, it doesn't happen that much. And so a lot of Caleb's plays, you sit there and go, awesome, but how realistic is that on Sundays? Awesome, how realistic is that on Sundays?
Dan, you make me feel really smart because, you watch all the film, you do all the big-time studying, and you are the authority on a lot of things for ESPN.
For sure.
You get that iPad.
Yep.
You do that whole thing. You start circling them. You see this?
Yep.
Got the vision thing. I wondered if he's going to be able to do all his escapability magic stuff immediately upon watching their one game at the megacast we had.
Yeah, against Washington.
USC Washington. That was my first time watching a full game of his since like maybe that Oklahoma-Texas game. I've watched highlights and cut-ins and watched film of it like that. Like, hey, we need to see this situation. Never just watched an entire game, like from literal first snap all the way to He is electrifying. He's
awesome.
He was awesome every play is electrifying. Like it is fantastic. It is worth the hype. But you immediately think to yourself, there's 400-pounders running like 4.8s in the NFL. A lot of these guys on the defense side of the ball, even though Pac-12 was phenomenal in its last year of existing in the football competition level and everything like that, you got guys running 4.3, 4.4 that are chasing down the edge. His ability to escape is a massive piece of his thing. Now, granted, he can throw. everything else happens in there. But it's like,
awesome.
is all that shit possible in the NFL? It's like, we won't find out till he gets there.